All right, today we're diving into something pretty wild. We've got our hands on a security document, and we're going to break down the threat profile of a person of interest known only as Gianni. Let's get right into it.
So, right out of the gate, the file just drops this on you. There's no gentle introduction here. This one sentence tells you everything you need to know about the tone of this document. It's pure chaos from the very first line.
Okay, so where do you even start with a guy like this? Well, the document begins with the basics. It tries to build a foundational profile of Gianni by just laying out his documented criminal record. And let me tell you, his rap sheet is something else. We're talking multiple felony charges, active warrants for his arrest, which is serious enough, right? But then you see he's on the FBI's most wanted list. That takes him from just being a criminal to a full-blown national security threat. And get this, it's not like he just made the list once. The number here is 5 separate times. This isn't a fluke, this is a pattern. It shows that in the eyes of federal law enforcement, he's a persistent, recurring nightmare.
And this is where things get really unnerving. The document just flatly states that they believe Gianni is listening in. Right now. That completely changes the game. This isn't some historical analysis of a guy in a file anymore. It's a live situation. The subject is aware.
But here's the thing, we're not just talking about regular crime. The file then pivots to what it calls his economic warfare tactics, and this is a whole different beast. This is where Gianni's threat level gets a lot more insidious. So how does he do it? The file actually breaks down his strategy step by step. It starts out looking like a normal, if aggressive, corporate takeover. Acquire stock, become the majority shareholder, but then it goes completely off the rails. The end goal isn't profit. It's total monopoly control for the sole purpose of systematically destroying entire industries. And the damage? Oh, it's real. We're talking about the entire nightclub industry in Los Santos just wiped out. There's also a mention of a major casino theft and massive disruption to the car market. These aren't just theories. These are the documented, real-world consequences of his actions.
So he's not just a threat in the boardroom, not by a long shot. The file then gets into his, let's call it direct action, and it gives us a very specific case study to show just how violent he can be. It involves a target named Avon.
You have to see how the file presents this. It's so clinical, it's almost absurd. On one side, you've got Avon. His objective? Oh, just a peaceful nuclear war to let an AI take over the planet. Casual. And on the other side, Gianni's counteraction is to chase him down with a jetpack and shoot his plane out of the sky. The document just presents it as two opposing and equally insane business plans. And if you thought that was weird, hold on. We're now entering what I can only describe as the what is even happening section of the report. This is where Gianni's methods go from just violent to truly bizarre and psychological. Yeah, you read that right, the horny Batmobile. The document gives it a formal definition, describing it as a vehicle that can reproduce. On its own, we're talking tens of thousands of little Batmobiles, enough to completely wreck the entire car market just by overpopulating it. And how does he use this thing? Well, it's not for his Sunday drive. The file says he drives it at speeds classified as beyond unsafe, and literally uses the boost function to launch pedestrians into the air. This isn't just reckless driving, it's weaponized driving against civilians.
The psychological warfare gets incredibly dark. And I'm just going to read this quote directly from the file. It's a recorded threat, noted by the analysts as a key indicator of his desire to not just defeat his enemies, but to utterly humiliate them, even after death.
And you might think, okay, that's just some crazy talk. But no, law enforcement took this so seriously that they actually posted officers at all the city's graveyards. That's a real police response to what they considered a credible, albeit deeply disturbing threat.
It gets even stranger. The file includes statements from actual police officers on the ground. And listen to this one. An officer is recorded expressing, well, let's just say, a very specific fear about a unique biological threat he believes Gianni possesses. It shows you the kind of legend and terror that's built up around this guy.
So, after all of that, the criminal record, the economic warfare, the jetpacks, the reproducing cars, the file starts to wrap things up. It tries to bring all these chaotic pieces together into one final assessment of the threat Gianni still poses.
But here's the kicker. Just when you think you have a handle on how bad this guy is, the file drops this number, 14. That's the minimum number of other reasons he's wanted that aren't even detailed in this report.
What we know is bad, but what we don't know could be so much worse.
And the file doesn't end with some dry clinical summary. The analyst who wrote this speaks directly to the reader, basically directly to us. It's a straight-up warning. The threat is real, he's out there, and you should consider yourself a potential target.
And that's it. That's where the document cuts off. It just leaves you with this chilling final thought. In a world where someone like Gianni exists, someone who can turn the stock market, biology, and a car into a weapon, what does being safe even mean anymore? What does security look like when you're facing that kind of chaos?